Good evening, everyone. Great to be part of this session. We at PwC are proud to be partners of this Nasscom Emerge 50 Awards because it gives us a very unique opportunity to see the stars of the future who will be part of the growth of Indian deep tech ecosystem going forward. What I will do is, just to set the context, we will quickly take you through some overview slides and also the methodology and the process that we followed. Yeah, I think this you all know, pace of tech is tremendous, right? Earlier, changes used to take years, centuries. Now changes are happening in months. And what we see with AI, advancements, etc., it's even much more faster and quicker as we look into it. And in this context, this entire thing becomes much more interesting. I think what we could clearly see is that deep tech funding in India saw a peak in 2022, and we saw almost 1.2 billion funding coming in deep tech startups in India, but it has seen a slight decline, but this year is again looking promising, right? And with the deep tech ecosystem rising, AI being the buzzword, we should see it rising even more going forward at various points of time. Having said that, there is a lot of room for growth. If you compare it against US, China, India has a way to go ahead, but it's a great start, and there is a potential to drive this going forward. And that shows only we are at the tip of the iceberg, right? What can happen from here in the deep tech ecosystem can be amazing in that particular fashion. And I think this is very critical, right? We have various stakeholders here, and that's why it's very important, right? We need, like in the last session, Ashwin was there, right? We need storytellers who can tell what these deep tech startups can achieve. We obviously need funders, VCs, etc., to enable them. We obviously need government plays a critical role, right, in terms of providing ecosystem, talent, challenges, etc., in terms of driving that. And then obviously we have a complete academia, financial investors, corporates who can then pick these startups and take them to the next level as part of this journey. So the entire ecosystem is very important, and if we look at the deep tech story, each one of them plays a very critical role as part of this. And then we have tried to map it out. Given the time, I will not spend too much time on this, but there is a role which each one of these plays at various specific points of time to help build these deep tech startups going forward. And maybe the unicorns of the future might come from this league of 10 or 50 startups that we have identified. I think few data points just for this group. We have the third largest startup ecosystem in India and the third largest in deep tech domain as well. We have had seen 950 plus startups, and out of which almost a 10% success rate, and 91 have gone on to become unicorns in that particular sense. In deep tech, we are seeing 250 plus deep tech focused funds and investors, which is amazing, right? Which is a unique thing in that sense. There is a lot of investment coming in that particular sense. And I think the most important point is that almost 77,000 patents were filed in this particular domain. And that's very important, right? Because at the end of the day, it's a talent game. And if we have the right talent, we will be able to achieve the right outcomes in that particular fashion. Let me now talk very briefly about the process that we have and why Nasscom and PwC have engaged in this initiative, right? I think our objective is to identify out of the various list of organizations that participate, and it was amazing here, right? And maybe it was huge in that sense that almost 650 plus startups applied for this process, which was almost 10 to 15% higher than what happened last year. And it has been growing at that rate over last 2-3 years over a period of time. And our objective is to identify almost 50 unique deep tech stars which we can look up to it and see their progress over the years. And obviously the objective is familiar, right? Provide them visibility, provide them going forward, help them in their market access, hopefully this should enable them to get funding and help them grow further going forward. I think with this we have been able to identify certain key areas which could be part of our overall philosophy, which is around government partnership, focused investors, and actually enabling them through the national deep tech policy that we have. If we look into it again, I would like to just highlight the process that we had, and it was a fairly rigorous process, right? We started this way back in January, and we have been running this process at various points of time. We started with 650 plus startups. There was a detailed framework of around 6 foundational elements, which range from finance to technology to innovation to the impact that they can have. And we went through a rigorous process of analyzing them. Then there were detailed jury rounds where each of these startups made detailed presentations. A lot of questions were asked of them. And they were asked to, at times, to show proof of concept of their solutions. How are they going about it? How are they developing their marketplace? And how are they looking at from creating more impact going forward? And based on that, we came up with League of 10 and another 40 aspiring startups, which could be the face of the future going forward. And obviously, this comes across whatever you can think for, right? There are interesting deep tech players in space tech. There are interesting deep tech players in AI, and there are interesting deep tech players in health tech, biotech, etc. I will not name them, but these are some of the categories that we have. And finally, I would only say congratulations to all of you. I think what you are trying to do is amazing. And we all got inspired looking at some of your products that you are bringing out into play, the platforms that you are bringing out to play. And as a famous movie line, may the force be with you and may you achieve much more higher. Thank you so much.